Lick number 6 is called It's All Relative. That's what we've been doing. We've been playing relative, minor, and major licks. So right now we're on the major half of these pairs. This is D major. This one is going to have some pretty cool legato in it and a little bit more space. So let me play it for you, then we'll talk about it. That's a fun track to play over. They're all fun. Steve Jenkins, you have to thank for that stuff. This 311 vibe is a good one. Okay, so we have this D major lick, and there's a couple new phrasing components in this. First is the first two notes I play. They don't sound like this. They sound like this. That's called staccato. I'm shortening the length of the note. I'm even giving it a little extra something, which would be an accent, like we've talked about before, but not officially. I'm officially playing staccato. Now, from there, I'm doing what I like to call rolling legato. If you go back to some of my earlier courses, there's actually a lick back in 50 Rock Licks, you must know, called rolling hammers. So what I'm doing is I'm going in a back and forth motion. In this case, I'm going up with a hammer on and then coming down with a double pull-off, two pull-offs. I'm using these fingers to do it. 3, 4, my 1, 3, and 4. If that proves to be challenging, you can switch up and play your 1, 2, 3 fingering. So it would be like this. You can still play the rest of the lick like that. I strongly suggest you put the time into playing 1, 3, 4 to get that fourth finger to be as usable as your other 3 fingers. You have 4 fingers and a thumb. You should use them all. So that's also real nice for the second finger to be right there. It's a little cumbersome if you do it with this other fingering, so do the fourth finger. All right, so now I'm sliding into that 11th fret note. It's going back to that slide from nowhere. It's kind of a grace note slide, and I'm coming down from the 10th fret below. But the reason why I don't call it a grace note slide is because it doesn't have that quick. I'm not doing that. So I'm sliding into that note and then coming to this note above. The distance between these two notes is called a minor third. We're going to do that a lot. It's a great sound. It always works. Now I'm holding that high note a little bit, giving it some space, giving it some vibrato, and then coming down and resolving to that D. Remember, we're in the key of D. The track is in D. I'm landing on a D. Great practice to end your licks on the root of whatever it is that you're playing over. And lastly, I give a little quarter step inflection, even though I didn't point it out in the chart, to that note right before it. So quarter note inflections can be played anywhere, but they sound great on the third. You'll learn more about what the thirds are, major, minor thirds, and stuff like that. In this case, key of D, F sharp is the third. Anytime you put a quarter step inflection on either one of those notes, it sounds great. All right, that's that pair. Now we're going to move to another relative major and minor pair and keep going towards our ultimate goal of when I tell you what's going to be going on in lick number 11. But for now, let's go to lick number 7.